This guy and his company go worldwide on TikTok and got 18 million fucking followers, but we can't get our best ambassador a fucking panini. Like, what do I gotta do? Do I gotta dance for this fucking thing? What do I gotta do to get this fucking thing?
Listen, hold on.
All I hear is people crunching in the pubs, everything. Oh, they're in the streets asking me for one. I'm like, I didn't even have one.
Listen, if you want to get a panini, you gotta come during the hours. But I know you're working during those hours mainly. So listen, right now it's only open during the week, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are gonna extend the hours. When we do,
I would hope so.
You gotta come. We owe you a panini, maybe two. Depends how hungry you are. I don't know. How's the ginger shot though?
That's excellent, excellent. You guys gotta get this ginger boost. Like, it's literally great, and it wakes you up because we're doing long shows here, and I gotta get up and at him. And he gave me this, and this thing is great.
It's like, so it's meant as like a gut health booster plus an immunity boost, tons of vitamins,
I like
great
it.
fiber in that, helps with inflammation, digestion. You know who else really likes it? And not even kidding?
Oh.
Mr. Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Did he really?
He loves the juices. That's something that's been a staple lately. So yeah, let's get into it. Listen, welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys. We're back here again. It's NFC time.
My favorite conference.
Listen, welcome to the family. We're here. We're your hosts. I'm Myke Meals.
Joey Puma. Hello there.
And yeah, today, listen, NFL draft recap. Last episode, we talked about the AFC. Today, it's about part 2, the NFC.
Yes.
Winners and losers. There's a lot of losers.
Yes.
Now, let's let's
Act normal.
get into it, man. I mean, you gotta let, the season, I feel like, is just starting now. I don't even know how to act. I'm getting into the draft.
No, I'm getting the itch. Like, people the other day, I was texting because I have my big, high roller keeper league, right?
Yeah, big league.
And it's a legacy league. So what that means
You won't even let me in the league. I've been trying to get in for years.
So people, if you ever want to get into my league, especially fans out there that are not, there is a waiting list. Right now, we're 15 people deep. I'm dead serious. This is not a joke. Well, because a lot of people want to play with me. Well, not play with me, but you get the gist.
Pause.
But we have a lot of competitive people that want to get in. So in my league, I started the group chat. Usually I say, Happy New Year, everybody check in. So I literally set the draft date and the keeper deadline last week.
Last week?
Yeah.
So
You think that's like too early?
I
mean, like, at the end of the day, it's like if you're having a wedding, right? And you tell people save the date. So, like, if you go to Aruba on my wedding, it's kind of like a FU to me. So
essentially.
Yeah. So I'm more of like, you're gonna plan your whole life around September 3rd.
You have to.
You have to.
We already talked about it, and then Puma literally messaged me and he said, "Hey, September 3rd is my date.
Right, yeah.
Your date, you can't make September 3rd.
Yeah, the date.
And what did I do? It's like understood in the fantasy community. Oh my goodness, no problem. I'm going to have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Right away, I came up with September 2nd. That's what happens though. Fantasy community, you got to make sure that you are planning ahead.
That's it. All the time, stay ahead. One of the biggest advice I could give to people is, I know people might laugh at me with the waiting list and stuff like that, but you know what? If you get a feeling from other owners that they're not going to stay and stuff like that, try to replace them as early as possible so you get things going and in the right direction.
So you can get the waiting list going. This guy thinks he's the Copacabana or something.
A fantasy.
There's a waiting list. He's got a guy
hold
outside with a clipboard.
Mike goes to me, he goes, "Oh, can I get in? Maybe I'll try this year. Try this year. How about the other 15 people? Get in the back."
I'm like the guy at the door, trying to get in. The guy at the clipboard won't open the rope thing for me. Like, sorry, you're not on the list. I'm like, Puma! For Puma!
I know him. Yeah, I never seen him in a day in my life. All right, let's start it off.
All right. So listen, NFC. It was a little, it was a little strange. I thought, because the AFC, after going over these lists, it had so many more draft picks, so many more offensive studs. So let's start with number 1, Carolina Panthers. Round 1, the 8th pick, they took Tyrone McMillan. Big-time wide receiver. He was the number 1 ranked going into the draft. Arizona had a pretty successful career. And they also took in round 4 kind of notable. Trevor Etienne, but he will be behind Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, so don't get your hopes up.
Right.
But this T-Mac signing could be big.
It could be huge. I mean, this guy at 6'4", 212, out of Arizona, he screams Mike Evans to me. T. Higgins, right? Those are the two names to keep in mind here. Big-bodied receiver, wins at high radius with jump balls. And Dave Canales, the former Tampa Bay offensive coordinator before Liam Cohen, you could see the theme here, right? He's trying to build this offense like he built with Baker Mayfield, right? If McMillan could be your Mike Evans, maybe we could have Leggett be our Chris Godwin, right? And then our possession receiver is Thielen, right? So I truly believe this is a need for them. They needed a number one, and like I said in previous shows, Thielen and Xavier Leggett were not the number one. They were 2s and 3s.
I mean, for me personally, listen, they looked like they did focus a lot on defense because that was really needed. But Bryce Young, he sees a boost. T-Mac, I don't know how I feel about him. I was hoping that he can go to someone better, but obviously with his high draft value, we were expecting to get taken earlier. It would have been nice to see him on one of these bigger contenders. But, nevertheless, Bryce Young's value up. I think somebody like Xavier Leggett's value is down. I think Thielen will probably still play the same
He's
role.
still in the middle. Leggett. This really affects Leggett. Just from a pure standpoint, they invested a first-round pick last year in Leggett. So obviously, this young gentleman coming in, he is the higher pick. And side note, him and Bryce Young, 2 LA boys, so they already got a little connection going on. I think this is great for fantasy, and is my number 6 pick in rookie drafts right now.
So next team, Chicago Bears. First round, they surprised us all. They took Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan, with the 10th pick, which was technically, everyone was projecting Tyler Warren to go first. So to see Loveland go first really showed the Bears' commitment to him. I think for a guy like Cole Kmet, who wasn't that fantasy relevant anyway, this definitely can mess with his value. And then in the second round, at the 39th pick, they took Luther Bird in the 3rd. So Rome Odunze might be affected a little bit here. I think Caleb Williams has a tremendous opportunity for next year, adding so many offensive pieces. Even the pick after that, they took an offensive tackle. They took a guard later on. I mean, they're doing what they can to protect Caleb. Ben Johnson's there now. I'm expecting big things from that Bears offense, but I think everyone is just so shocked because they didn't pick a running back right away like everyone was expecting.
No, absolutely. I think with Cole Kmet already there, it was a little shocking, but not for, Loveland. Everybody knows I loved him, right? And it was between a toss-up between him and Tyler Warren. They went with Loveland. And Loveland projects to me as the next Sam Laporta, right? He's big. He's great with the catch, yards after catch, right? So I truly believe he'll fit into that offense very well. And big win for Caleb Williams. That's for sure. It gives him another weapon.
And this is also a big win for DeAndre Swift. They clearly are comfortable and good with DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson as their 2 running backs.
Yes. They are content with the running back room right now. Again, let's see come down to cut day if anybody, from other teams, they make a move. But for right now, DeAndre Swift is safe. And this definitely makes him worth a RB2 selection.
Now let's go with the one team that I called the biggest loser of the offseason a few weeks ago, Dallas Cowboys. Again, still no offensive pieces. They didn't add any wide receivers. They didn't take a running back to the 5th round. I mean, great for value in terms of CeeDee Lamb. I guess he's still going to get the targets over there. But their first offensive player they took off the board was Jaden Blue, running back from Texas in the 5th round.
Right.
So they didn't make many moves, and I don't see, I guess, that many people being affected, but the running game is still going to be in question.
Again, they kind of are like the New York Jets of the NFC, where it's like they get you hopes up, and then even though they receive a lot of great draft grades from pundits, they didn't get anyone that the team, like fans, wanted. At 12, you could have easily gone Omarion Hampton. He was still there. You could have easily went a wide receiver, maybe Matthew Golden, who would have been your boy, who would have been perfect alongside CeeDee Lamb. Now we're talking about bringing back Amari Cooper. Again, the Dallas. I like the Booker signing. I like the draft pick. Just a little too early for me. Same like Membo, right? It's the same story like the Jets. It's like, dude, like I'm okay with the offensive players, but it's not sexy. That's the only thing. And you know what? Sex sells, and I love sexy. This was not sexy to me.
And I know what you mean. They did need defense. They did need linemen. In terms of offensive, opportunity, we didn't see much of an upgrade. So let's see if all those other factors factor in, because that can all make an offense better, especially for fantasy. So the next team on the slate, Green Bay Packers.
Ooh. Now we were texting, and on our show before this, 2 shows prior to the preview, Myke made a great prediction about Matthew Golden to the Green Bay Packers, which he was spot on about.
I also said Matthew Golden to the Packers. I saw a lot of people saying that they would like to see Matthew Golden get drafted to the Texans, but me personally, I think Jordan Love can use somebody like that over there.
The quick stat for you guys, tidbit. The Green Bay Packers haven't drafted a wide receiver in the first round since 2002. Yes, most of you were probably not even born. So, at the end of the day, I think it's a great pick for the Packers. And for me, I would have taken him ahead of McMillan. I like McMillan. I think he's great. But Matthew Golden is something special.
You mean Ekpuka?
No. I meant over
T-Mac.
T-Mac. Yeah. In my rankings of wide receivers coming out prospects, I had Matthew Golden at number 1, not because of his combine work, but just watching his tape. He just had a lot of separation, and just every time I looked at him, I thought Emmanuel Sanders, AB, Antonio Brown. That's literally what I would think of. Like, he's just very quick to get off the blocker, and he separates. And if you could separate in this league at the NFL level, you're going to be a stud.
I think Green Bay was in dire need of that alpha wide receiver too. And it definitely affects Christian Watson's value.
Dead.
Romeo Dobbs' value.
Dead.
Dontavian Wicks, just forget about him. Jaden Reed, I think, will still be somewhat valuable. This might make him more productive.
Jaden can't read. Yeah, no. He's done. Wikipedia, maybe, because he has some Devontae Adams.
Some size to him.
Yeah, he has the little Devontae Adams. But you know what? Matthew Golden is the guy here. And with the capital and being the first receiver taken since 2002, I think he was the best dressed as well.
Oh, yeah, my boy Matthew Golden. Listen, we've been going for him for day one. I loved him. We talked about him in the Combine episode. We talked about him pre-draft. I mean, we've been all over Matthew Golden, and now you're seeing it finally come to fruition. I'm just hoping during the fantasy season we can see some value out of it. Jordan Love, though, and Josh Jacobs, I think through the roof with their couple of key additions. I think this can make them way more valuable next year.
Absolutely. It gives Jordan Love. It definitely boosts up Jordan Love. Now, right now, for me, I can't trust any Packer wide receiver like you guys out there because I have PTSD from Jaden Can't Read or Jaden peed on himself. So, I really have PTSD, So, for me, I have to wait and see green eggs and ham, but we'll see.
I think I might get a golden jersey. I'm not gonna lie. That would be my guy. Because I know you were getting Shador. Who'd you get? Hunter. You got a Hunter.
I got Travis Hunter. It's on the way. I didn't get it in time to wear it to the show, but next week I am wearing it, and it's gonna be epic.
Yeah, I might even look for a golden Texas shirt just to represent. You know what I mean?
I know what T-shirt I'm going up for next, but we'll get to that
Surprise
player.
me, yeah. I'll tell you one guy's T-shirt I'm not getting. That's the next guy I'm about to talk about. I'm only kidding, but I might get it. Listen, the Los Angeles Rams, I thought it was notable in round 2, pick 46. They took a tight end as their first player. Tight end Terrence Ferguson from Oregon. He was ranked like 6 or 7 going into the draft, so it was. I'm sure this will give Matt Stafford another weapon. We'll see. He might not even be used.
Yeah, for me, I felt like the Rams didn't pick till this point because there were rumblings that they were waiting for Jackson Dart.
Yep.
And the Giants jumped up, ahead of them and, swapped with the Houston Texans. But the Houston Texans got out of there because they saw Buka go to Tampa.
Yeah.
So it because of Tampa Bay, set the wheels in motion for all these teams to
start trading back
and transition to different plans.
And actually, which is interesting, because the 25th pick,
right.
Giants took Jackson Dart, and then 26th the Rams traded, like you said.
Right.
Puma did say Jackson Dart, I could see him going to the Rams, staying behind Stafford for a year or two, and then getting his share.
Yeah. To me, Jackson Dart, LA Rams. I think that's the perfect spot for him. And he just gets to sit behind a professional for 2 more years.
I that would have probably happened.
Yeah, I feel, honestly, what we're going to get to them, I truly feel that he could be a special player in the right system.
Yeah, you said it. Now, New Orlean Saints, nothing too remarkable, but again, another little signing. Quarterback Tyler Shue, 2nd round, 3rd quarterback off the board, I believe.
Yeah, it was...
3rd quarterback off the board at this point. Yeah, Louisville quarterback, Tyler Shue. So Derek Carr is in limbo. He might not be back this year. They don't have any other options.
Mike, when I was thinking to myself coming into work today, I tried to think for this show, who's the biggest loser? Because you don't really know the biggest loser till, who's the biggest loser, who's the biggest winner. You don't really know till 2-3 years down the road, right? But, we like to talk about it. And for me, the Saints were the biggest losers. And, not for nothing, again, with the tackles. Yeah, okay, I get the Calvin Banks thing. Sure, no problem. But at 9, you still had Golden. At 9, you still could have went a quarterback.
Marion Hampton, maybe?
Hampton. No, not Hampton, because you have Alvin Kamara. But, you could have went Will Johnson. You could have went anything else, right? Literally, you have a lot of needs, right? Then you come back in the 2nd round, and not for nothing, you literally could have got Shedeur Sanders, and you should have, because that would have been even a greater place for him. But no, you opted for Tyler Shook, and I know a lot of people are high on him, but he screams to me Christian Hackenberg and Brandon Whedon had a baby, which is not good.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have a tough time this
year. Biggest loser.
I'm personally staying away from a lot of those players, with the exception of possibly Kamara, because he is a PPR machine,
right.
And only at the right pick. I'm not going to take him too early, like a 3rd round or anything.
Right.
So we'll see where it goes.
Enjoy Arch Manning next year.
San Francisco 49ers. Again, they didn't add too many offensive pieces, but they did get 2 notable players. In the 4th round, they took Jordan Watkins, wide receiver from Mississippi. And in the 5th round, they took one of my sleeper running backs, Jordan James, running back from Oregon. So, of course, you always talk about the 49ers offense really utilizing their running backs. Keep an eye. You never know. McCaffrey, you saw last year, 3 or 4 different running backs.
People didn't know who Garindo was.
Yeah, exactly. So keep an eye on a guy like Jordan James who can put his head down and run. And with that Shanahan offense, that they can make some moves. So anything you want to talk about there? I mean, I'm not really seeing much fantasy value out of that.
No,
getting
sucks.
Bored?
Are
you getting Rashad White right now?
Boring. Next. I don't even want to waste my minutes
This
on that.
was an interesting one. I like this just for the sake of the backup value to anybody. The Seattle Seahawks selected Jalen Milroe, 3rd round, which actually sent everybody in awe. It's like you heard a couple oh, like everyone was a little shocked. Jalen Milroe, quarterback from Alabama in the 3rd round. He's going to back up Sam Darnold.
Scam.
Yeah,
Scam.
Scam Darnold.
So I'm gonna relate this situation to 2012 of when the Seattle Seahawks signed Matt Flynn to a big contract, and they picked up some guy in the 4th round named Russell Wilson. So I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it kind of smells like it. I'm not saying Sam's going to be so terrible. I'm just saying that Jalen Milroe, according to scouts, is the best runner with the football they've ever seen.
They said.
Whether it be running back, wide receiver, other quarterbacks, defensive players, when he has the ball in his hands, he can run. And this is why I am not so high on Seattle Seahawks skill players other than Walker. So for me, I feel like it's a great destination because by week 10, I feel like he's going to be in.
I mean, listen, he could be the future there because the fact that they made that commitment to him,
right,
showing that they might not think Sam Darnold might be the future.
I mean, if you overlook,
and he's only 26,
right?
Darnold.
The youth. Well, yeah, Darnold has some youth because he came into the league early with the Jets, but Milroe is cheaper for the long haul, and you could build a team around him. And 2, if you really look at Sam Darnold's contract, it's only for 1 year, is guaranteed. After that, he could be cut. So I do not see them, paying him their base salary of $32 million. No way. So for me, I feel like Jalen Milroe is 2026 and beyond.
And we'll see. I mean, and then last but not least, the New York Giants, our opponents, or other side of the state. Listen, we're not Giants fans.
Feels like that.
For real, that's what I'm saying. There's a big separation between Jets and Giants fans. But I will say that to me, they had one of the best drafts out of all teams. They were hungry. They, like we mentioned before, them trading to get that pick for Jackson Dart. They added him. They added their key edge player, Abdul Carter, earlier, which could really help them in terms of defense, keep the offense on the field. And then they drafted Cam Scatterbo in the 4th round, who Puma's big on. Now he's really close to you, too. You might be able to...
So I'm going to say something. Being a Jet fan is hard, but this is why... Even I know the Giants have had some bad years, but they've won Super Bowls, and this is why they are the far superior team and organization in our area. It's just for the pure fact these people have their jobs on the line, and they came out with the best draft, I truly believe, and other prognosticators believe, this year. I mean, you get Abdul Carter, obviously the best, one of the top 3 talents in the draft, and you come back, and I think what saves their job and gives them another bite at the apple is Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart could literally save Dable and Shane's job for the next 5 to 10 years. And with the pure fact of having Russell Wilson and having Jameis Winston. Because now these 2 men cannot be fired based off of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Because they're going to say, well, we didn't draft Daniel Jones. The last regime did. We drafted Jackson Dart. Dart gets to sit. Russell Wilson sucks. Jackson Dart, I truly believe, will be in by week 13. And we will see what we have with the New York Giants' future quarterback. And I truly believe with some seasoning, he could be very good.
Yeah, regardless, they have depth now. They now have that depth where it's, remember we were arguing, hey, Russell Wilson and Jameis, or you were saying, oh, maybe Jameis and Shador, Jameis and Jackson Dart. No, well, now they got Russell, Jameis, and Jackson Dart.
Right.
So if one goes down, the other comes in, you got a long line of guys that are willing to throw the ball. A guy like Malik Neighbors, I feel like his future is secure, especially in a redraft. You could rely on him. Tyrone Tracy might have a little bit of, pushback with Cam Scatterbo. Shout out Tyrone Tracy.
This is Tyrone Tracy Jr., running back for the New York Giants. I just want to give a shout out to MJ Gourmet. They my favorite spot to go to. They do all my meal preps. If you're ever looking for a spot to come eat, man, come on down here to Jersey, man. Come get you some food. And they got the best sandwich out, the TTJ sandwich. That's actually fire.
But in the end, this might bolster their offense as a whole. And Tyrone Tracy and Malik Neighbors were still scoring last year on a mediocre offense. If this offense is kicked up a notch, and the defense is playing a little harder, I think this whole team could see more
One
value.
of my favorite players in the draft, Cam Scatterboo. I could definitely see Scatterboo. Definitely a lot of fans get behind him. He's easy to get behind. He's a blue collar kind of player, lunch pail, let's get to work type of guy. I truly feel that he will take over this backfield. And he will be ground and pound, especially with the defense that they have. You're going to see a lot of New York Giants low-scoring games, and then you bring in Tyrone Tracy to loosen them up towards the end with his speed and elusiveness.
Well, he describes himself as the best running back in the draft.
And you know what? That is the kind of mentality you should have. Now, not to bring up Shador again, but Shador would probably say he's the best quarterback in the draft. So I guess a lot of people just take things for what they are, and Scatterboo is the harder worker, as it's been profiled. So therefore, it's okay, they'll let that go. For me...
Yeah, I'll take like 5 running backs over him.
Right. Scatterboo, honestly, he is a hard worker, and for me, he projects his comp as a Rex Burkhead or a Myke Allstott. Someone who's just going to just nail you north and south and then loosen you up.
Why those guys?
Because they're big and they're white. I mean, you want me to be honest?
I mean, everybody's comparisons are always. You ever notice that? And it's not just you; it's ESPN and like analysts.
Well, you know what? You want to get the player that profiles like him. I could have said Peyton Hillis, but I don't believe he's like Peyton Hillis.
Nah, Peyton Hillis is a little bigger.
Right. Like I feel like Scatterboo is like a bowling ball. He'll just run you over.
And here's the thing about Scatterboo is he's even a little bit more agile than Myke Allstott. He catches a lot of balls.
You want me to give you
in the bowl games? He had 3 touchdowns in his last.
Another guy, C.J. Anderson, Jonathan Stewart, like that.
Yeah, look, the Giants are in a good position this year, and I think all of these rookies, like Cam Scatterboo,
another senior,
Jackson Dart, like they all have awesome futures. I'm really excited to see the Giants.
Scatterboo.
So let me just get into my biggest winner then from the draft in terms of players. We both agree, I guess, that Giants are our biggest winner. I will say my NFC biggest winner is Malik Neighbors. I feel like he is locked in now. We were questioning whether or not his future was going to be stable with Russell Wilson or Jameis, but now at least we know, they have quarterbacks down the line. And they're going to keep building around Malik Neighbors. He is the key to that offense. He's a locked-in number 1 pick. I've been seeing people take Malik Neighbors and then towards the 8th or 9th pick, and then come back around and grab Josh Jacobs or BTJ. Great way to start your draft. I think he's a lock-in loaded.
For me, it's your boy, and it's Matthew Golden being with Jordan Love. Jordan Love is my biggest winner. You go out, you get a first-round receiver, a guy that has burst, has speed, has elusiveness, and can separate, like we've mentioned. And I believe the other Packer receivers couldn't do that, to be honest. And, they were leaning too much on Josh Jacobs. Now you have somebody that could stretch the field, go over for drag routes, dig routes, whatever it may be. I think you have a future stud with Matthew Golden, my biggest winner, Jordan Love.
Golden will always be my biggest winner. That's my golden boy. But now I will go with my biggest loser, and I feel so bad because I was hoping this year was going to be his year. But it still might be. But I have to say, Rome Odunze right now is my biggest loser.
Burden.
Just because you got Luther Burden the third over there. They also drafted Colston Loveland. I mean, and last year, Rome Odunze had Keenan Allen and DJ Moore ahead of him. Keenan Allen left. Everyone thought this is going to be the Rome show, similar to like Najee Harris. His fame lasted only a few moments. Then these guys got drafted. Now, granted, we don't know what to expect, but right now I don't like what I see. So DJ Moore is going to be an alpha there. Rome Odunze is going to be fighting for targets. And let's see. He had some decent games last year, played 80% of the snaps most of the time, made a lot of, had a lot of targets. I just hope that he can get in the production because I was expecting a lot from him this year.
For me, it's Dak Prescott. I mean, he's my biggest loser. They do not get another weapon for him. He's going to be too reliant on CeeDee Lamb. right? And who do we have back there? Javonte Williams and who was the other running back they signed? Rico Dowell.
Yeah,
like
I think they got Len as the third.
no, not
string.
Rico Dowell. Rico Dowell went to Carolina.
Javonte and Miles
Sanders. Yeah, no.
And now what's his name?
No, and Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and then they just
And
drafted
Shorty,
that
they
new
got
guy.
Vaughn from 2 years ago. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Dallas went from a plethora of weapons to 2 guys. You know, so for me, they need to get more than Jake Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb. They need to add another wide receiver, whether it be Amari Cooper or make a trade. McMillan, I had mentioned, you know, maybe in preseason if Ibuka starts to, you know, come forward and take a big step.
Yeah, they got to do something over there. You know they won't. They'll be the same Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They remind me kind of like the Jets in a weird way.
I did mention that they are
Weird owners, you know, that are
they get too involved. You notice when the owner gets too involved, things go awry. So for me, just step back and let the football people do it. But we know that's not going to happen with Jerry, at least.
Yeah.
I think they should have got Amari on Hampton, man. That would have been a great toy to play with. A great toy to play with. And you know what? Okay, you don't want Hampton? Fine. You could have took Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren fell to the 14th pick. Tyler Warren, Dak Prescott loves tight ends. Think about when Jason Witten was on his way out.
Yep.
Blake Jarwin. He did have some fantasy relevance. Dr. Schultz. Dalton Schultz before he went to Houston.
Yeah.
He made relevancy of Jake Ferguson towards the end here. Fergie with it. So for me, that would have been a great pickup. Marion Hampton or Tyler Warren, my boys, they should have got one of them. And I'm a little depressed. So Dak Street Boys,
yeah.
I'm down on him.
So yeah, there was some really juicy rookie moves. A lot of potential on the board. Everybody start paying attention, seeing what's going on. The season's coming.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a Giants fan this summer and get a Jackson Dart Action
God.
Jackson T-shirt. I have my Travis Hunter coming, Hunter E. Hunter.
I got a Tyrone Tracy one on the way.
No, I'll get Tracy. I'll get Tracy and I'll meet him and everything's gonna go smooth and we'll probably arm wrestle. But we'll see how that goes, and I think it'll be great for show-wise and community-wise.
Yeah, we gotta do a mock draft soon. That reminds me, we gotta talk about it after.
Yes.
So again, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna keep bringing you the action, the Fantasy Wise Guys. Follow the Instagram, Fantasy Wise Guys. I mean, we love what we do. It's only beginning. This is the beginning, episode 16. There's going to be so much more.
Oh, save the dates.
Jeez, I'm telling you, this is the beginning. So, again, I'm Myke Meals.
Joey Puma. Master your game.